Hello, Roberto.
Monica.
It's been quite a while.
It's been more than 10 years.
That long?
You're looking good, Monica.
No, Roberto. I look terrible. It's because I'm dying. As I'm sure you know, you always read the newspaper.
I didn't want to bring it up.
It's fine. You're working. That's good.
I'd make a decent film in 10 years. Let's change the subject. What do you want from me, Monica?
You were always very direct.
Look, it's great to see you, but we were never close, Monica. It's been 10 years, and I'm not so vain to imagine that this visit is simply sentimental.
I want to ask you a favor.
Isn't it a little late for favors? And I was never one for miracles, Monica.
I'm not here for miracles.
So what is it you want from me?
I want you to re-edit the last scene of La Maman.
La Maman? Really? It's 30 years old. It's not a good film. It's never screened, never on TV. No one cares.
Nevertheless, I would like you to re-edit the ending.
Why?
Because it had become important to me. I'm dying, Roberto. Which isn't so bad, it happens to everyone. But it had made me think a lot about the past. And about what I was. About who I was, really.
You were a great actress. And you were very beautiful.
Now you're flattering me.
I mean it.
I was neither of those things. It's just that the camera loved me and I knew what it meant to be looked at.
Jusqu'à quand?
Mais vous voyez, je vous explique.
J'ai attendu déjà trop longtemps.
Oh, parlez plus bas, je vous en supplie.
Pour me lâcher qui? Pour sauvegarder quoi? Qu'espérez-vous donc encore?
Croyez-vous donc que ce soit si facile?
Je ne sais pas.
Et peut-être aussi, je n'ai pas beaucoup de courage.
Je ne peux plus vous remettre encore.
Mais non, c'est quelques heures seulement que je vous demande.
Quelques mois, quelques heures, quelques minutes, quelques secondes encore. Comme si vous hésitiez vous-même encore avant de vous séparer de lui, de vous-même. Comme si sa silhouette...
Reviens. Taisez-vous, par pitié.
You know, I was never really an actress.
So what were you then?
I was a model. I was on the cover of Vogue, wearing sunglasses and reading Pillion on Vespa. It was 1956, and I was 18. But I looked 26. You know, when I was 24, I played in a film by Hitchcock. My leading man was 46. Nobody thought it was strange. In those days, there was no such thing as adolescence. You were grown-up clothes and grown-up makeup. One minute you were a child, and the next you were a woman. There was nothing in between. You went straight from nursery into high heels. I think it was the war. In the war, people grew up quickly. Adolescence was a luxury we never had.
Se non vuoi vivere in povertà, vai in macchina. Ecco, questo è il primo pagamento. Ce ne saranno ancora molti, quindi vai in macchina.
But you were still a child when the war ended.
Did I tell you that? You know, what I've come to learn is that the memories of my real life are no more real than the memories of the part I played. That there is more order in this fiction than there ever was in the real thing.
You're beginning to sound nostalgic, Monica.
No, it's not that.
It was our work. It was what we did.
Do, Roberto.
Okay, do. Thank you for reminding me.
When I look at this film now, I can't always remember making them. I can't always remember the queue standing just outside of the shop. All I remember is what we made, the illusion. In the film, the leading man was always my lover. And in the real life, it was usually the same. The boundaries blurred. You know, when we made La Maman, I was young, just starting out. I had no idea who I was, only what I wanted to be. Do you remember Philippe?
Of course. He was in love with you.
I know.
Were you in love with him?
Na 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 la la dum la da 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 dum. Ciao. La dum la da 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 dum la da dum.
you ever imagine that we could have done something different?
Other than making films.
Yeah, leading normal lives. Lives that were less...
Intense?
Lives that were nothing like the people in the films we made. Didn't you find them annoying? All that adventure, that soul-searching. Always being able to challenge the conventions. All that fun they had. All that love and then all that pain. None of it real. Don't you think it was all a bit too much?
It was the only thing we knew.
I suppose it was. Tragic it is.
Så började vi skratta alla tre. Så ropade vi på den andra pojken som satt uppe i backen. Han heter Peter. Han kom ner alldeles förvirrad och såg ut som han frös i solskenet.
There was a time when I stopped talking about cinema. Stopped talking about art, sophisticated conversation about the choice of film I'd made. I had become too pretentious. I left.
Where did you go?
Japan. When I worked with René, he talked about nothing else.
You spoke Japanese?
It wasn't necessary.
Perhaps I shouldn't watch.
Don't worry, that's not me.
Sorry, I didn't recognize you.
Why should you? It was like if I had transformed. The critics wrote that I was no longer an actress, but a magician, a shapeshifter. When I wore a kimono, I was no longer French. I became Japanese.
こんな棒切れ使って何が剣術だ。武士ならば真剣でやれ。
How many films did you make there?
Only 2, but the food made me sick. I went back to Paris. I worked with the best director of the Nouvelle Vague. They were all completely fucked up, the children of Marx and Coca-Cola. They put me in black, and they told me I was too skinny. I said to them, the whole point of black, the only point of black, is that it makes you look skinny. But they were all in love with Bardot. Bresson even wanted me to bleach my hair. I said no, but he cast me anyway. I wrote for Cahiers de Cinéma and spoke at the Sorbonne during Les Événements of '68. Godard called me his muse. He liked my politics, but mainly he just wanted to sleep with me.
Pas comme tu crois.
Tu ne sais pas ce que je crois.
Si.
Tu ne sais pas à quoi je pense.
Si.
Non, c'est impossible. Je voudrais savoir ce qu'il y a derrière ton visage. Je le regarde depuis 10 minutes et je ne sais rien. Rien, rien. Je ne suis pas triste, mais j'ai peur.
Gentille et douce Patricia.
Non.
Bon, alors, cruelle, idiote, sans cœur, lamentable, lâche,
Why did you
méprisable.
leave?
Oui, oui.
We tried to change the world, but revolution became a fashion.
C'est terrible.
I flirted with more commercial work. Of course, only the best directors. I moved freely across boundaries. I was at my peak. I spoke 7 European languages perfectly. I could work anywhere.
Who were you really?
Just a girl. I was very unhappy.
You look good in red.
Yes.
What happened?
Nothing. There was tears, of course, and recrimination.
You stayed with him.
I stayed with him. It was supposed to be just a bohemian relationship, but really it was quite bourgeois. I moved on. I was still young and restless.
Carmen era de una belleza extraña y salvaje. Sus labios algo carnosos pero bien perfilados dejaban ver unos dientes más blancos que las almendras desprovistas de su piel. Sus cabellos eran negros, largos, brillantes y como el ala de un cuervo tenían reflejos azulados. Sus ojos
Dance
tenían una expresión
flamenco.
montuosa y hosca al mismo
I had a
tiempo.
lover who taught me.
What happened to him?
He died of a broken heart. I was a lesbian prostitute in the outskirts of some faceless German city. A bit part. The money was shit, but I liked the company. Thieves, drug addicts, and transsexual. And that was just the crew. The drugs made me feel good, even though I knew already that it was time to move on. That this level of creative energy burned too widely for me. I was always a tourist, always a voyeur.
Marlene! Gin! 10 Flaschen Gin! Du sollst verschwinden! Und dich um den Kuchen und um die Schlagseile kümmern, oder hörst du schwer?
Wenigstens ruf du bitte wenigstens an. Ich will wenigstens deine Stimme hören. Das kann doch nichts kosten. Einfach an. Vater unser, dieses Dreckschwein, dieses miese kleine Dreckschwein.
Marlene! Was willst denn du? Du hast doch deinen Spaß dabei. Gesprächsstoff für ein Jahr, halt doch die
Didn't you
Schnauze.
like Berlin?
I loved Berlin, but mainly we worked in small town and in Hamburg. For some reason, we often worked in Hamburg. I worked in so many places, and many of them seemed at the time like home. But in the end, I never stayed. I lived in hotels, always in hotels. I drove a red carpet across New Europa, looking for the places I remember from the 60s. But the landscape had changed. Everything had changed. Nothing looked as real as the film we had made there 30 years before in black and white.
So you came back to France?
Yes, I wanted to make one more film with the last of the great French directors. I missed Paris. The real Paris. Not the Paris from my imagination. But everywhere I went, I was photographed.
C'est quoi cette heure à laquelle tu rentres? Tu ne peux pas continuer à sortir tous les soirs. C'est la 3e fois cette semaine. Tu étais avec qui cette fois-ci? Tu ne nous dis jamais rien. Tu étais avec un garçon, le même garçon qu'hier soir. Si tu continues comme ça, personne ne va vouloir t'épouser. Tu vas décevoir ton père. Les gens ont commencé à remarquer quelque chose. Pourquoi tu passes? Et nous, pourquoi on passe? Je ne vais pas tolérer ce genre de comportement bien longtemps.
Were you never in love in Paris?
Love was not important. What was important was being watched. I wanted that, of course I did. But also I needed space, privacy. That's what was great with LA. In LA, nobody bothers if you're a star. And in LA, in any case, hardly anyone recognized me.
Did you ever think about staying in Hollywood?
No. I was in love with cinema. In Hollywood, they made movies.
Yeah, but there are exceptions.
Marty, I want to tell you something.
What is it?
I went to see my first husband today.
Oh. Oh, really? How was he? Was he good looking? Still? I was very much in love with you, Virginia.
Of course, there always are exceptions. But mainly I was in demand as the love interest. Directors cast me to show that they knew about real cinema. To show that what they knew about film had not been learned at the drive-in. LA is a crazy place, full of crazy people, and most of them want to make films.
Geçen seneden beri bu burada duruyor.
I need to get back to my fish.
old Mexican woman once told me I was going to die young. She was so upset, wouldn't take my $5. She had a stake tattoos on her ankle. I keep seeing her when I pray. I've started to pray, Roberto. Isn't it pathetic? Don't you think?
Monica.
Santa Monica.
What?
It was in Santa Monica, the old Mexican woman. We have arrived.
Yes.
Will you do it?
Of course. But I still don't understand why.
Because there is something I need to tell the only man I ever really loved. Because when I had the chance to tell him, I didn't. And then he died. And for a long time, I never realized that I really truly loved him. And now he was gone.
It's just a film.
Just a film?